This is Zach Coleman for the Personal Trainers Business Incubator. And I got a question asking, how has the fitness industry changed in the last 5 years and what are my predictions of the fitness industry in the future? I started in the fitness industry back in 2012. Now, a lot of people will give me a lot of flack and be like, you weren't in the industry in 2012, but like, that's when I actively really started following the industry and I got involved in the community. Sure, I wasn't a personal trainer at that time. I didn't work in the industry because I was still in high school, but that's when I fell in love with the industry and I started paying attention. Now, back at this time, Instagram was brand new. I think it was maybe like a year old. People really didn't even know what it was for. People didn't really know how to use it. And then the fitness industry caught on to Instagram and people were starting to blow up left and right. This is the first time where we saw real influencers becoming apparent and brand deals were becoming apparent. For myself, I was seeing a lot of people's live change through Instagram and through Facebook, and the path to success that we thought was the path through Instagram and Facebook was actually becoming an influencer and actually becoming like a sponsored athlete and working with brands, things like that. Coaching wasn't necessarily a thing. I think coaching was still something people did through email. Online coaching was definitely not as popular as it is today, and it was really more so about you got to open up a gym, you got to become an in-person trainer and things like that. Like Instagram caught wind, people started blowing up on social media, and so it was either you were a big influencer and you're making a ton of money through brand deals and sponsorships, or you went the more traditional route and opened up a gym or became an in-person trainer. And so for myself, I didn't really know much about online coaching at all. That came way later down the road. My number one goal was to become an influencer. My number one goal was to blow up on social media. And so that's where I put a lot of my attention in. That's where the fitness industry started with social media. Now, obviously the fitness industry has been around for a very, very long time, but when social media came out, I think everyone had their eyes on becoming an influencer via Instagram, building a big following and getting some brand deals and sponsorships. Now, later down the road, after a couple years, I would say from 2012 to 2018, so good, was that 6 years? 6 years into social media. This is where we started seeing people have a little bit more micro followings, right? They're not in the massive millions of followers or even hundreds of thousands of followers, but they were micro influencers between 10,000 and 100,000 followers. I started seeing people actually create opportunities for themselves, starting their own online coaching business. Around 2016, 2017 is when I really first started hearing about online coaching. At first, it wasn't really an opportunity for me because I was so focused on becoming an influencer that I just really didn't pay attention. But around 2018 is when I decided, hey, this route isn't really working for me. I don't really want to go down this path anymore. What is this online coaching thing about? And I started seeing people with 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 followers making up to $10,000 a month, $15,000 a month, even $25,000 a month. I'm like, what the heck is this? Like, what's going on here? Around 2018 to now, I started seeing the industry shift from these big, giant influencers who had all the attention to now these more smaller page micro influencers who are able to make a living for themselves using social media. And I think that the way that it changed over the last 5 years, or actually longer than that, actually it's almost been 10 years since I've been in the industry, watching the industry. The way that it's changed is that in the beginning you had to have a big platform in order to make it in the fitness industry, but now people figured out ways to make money for themselves and to start their own business with smaller platforms. So what's great is that more and more people are able to get into the game now easier than they were able to back 10 years ago. Now that we work with people, we teach them how to start their business. I literally have clients that have started with 1,000 followers on Instagram. They have not posted a single fitness post. And within 6 to 12 months, they're making $10,000 a month for themselves. They don't have a huge following. They don't have 10,000 followers, 100,000 followers. They have 1,000 followers and they're able to make a full-time income for themselves. It's really cool now that Instagram is not only a place for people to consume content, but they're able to actually make a living for themselves. My predictions for the future is that it's only going to get easier and easier for more people to adopt social media, for more people to adopt online coaching, and for more people to create full-time incomes for themselves on social media. Back in 2012, the people who were getting on social media were the people who had phones. They had never really grown up with social media before. So it was people in their teens, people in their 20s, where this is the first time they were accessing social media. And so it was kind of like caveman discovering fire, like, ooh, like, what is this? Like, what are we doing here? But now you're getting people who are as young as 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. They're already on social media. Their parents have created them an account. And so they're growing up with social media. This is the new generation of people who is going to massively adopt social media. Social media, the internet, it's not going anywhere. If anything, it's going to be even more adopted in the future. With more and more people able to create incomes for themselves, it's going to be easier for people with smaller platforms to make a full-time income for themselves using social media. So that's where I see it going in the next 5 years.